Hanako doesn't come to the morning class at all, leaving her seat looking empty and lonely in the back of the classroom. Oh, hang on, it's not working. There, it's working. I have to tell her that Lily was looking for her if I see her later. After the events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison. I turn the pages of my textbook lazily. I have a bit of catching up to do, despite trying to keep up with my studies at the hospital, but I'm not feeling that enthusiastic about it. The clock at the front of the room sounds unbearably loud. The teacher hasn't said anything in over 7 minutes, instead opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations taken directly from the book. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on the blackboard seems to synchronise perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I start to copy down the equations just to pass time, even though they are right there in the textbook. That dull that you had to copy shit that person's writing, even though it's there. Damn. When the bell rings, I'm not in a hurry because I have nothing to do, so I stay for a while, reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to leave last anyway, so I don't have to deal with crowdings in the hallways. I notice Shizune and Misha have also stayed behind, talking to someone from another class. Shizune's signing so fast that her hands make noises like swords cutting through the air. Maybe there is a pent-up anger in there. I'm probably speaking about Lily. Misha is desperately trying to keep up with her, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. I put my head down. Whatever they're discussing, it looks like serious business. Shizune signs to the point where she wrist crackle, and Misha struggles to spit it out in word form. I thought you just looked down and couldn't see. Clearly not. Sometimes she trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters, and then on top of that she has to sign back anything the other girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Luckily for her, their business is soon finished and the girls sit down in their seats again. Ugh, I'm so tired. She's hanging her head limply, looking exhausted. I'll use the opportunity to reconcile with Shizune a bit, without getting roped into the student council thing again, though I suspect the door is now closed for me. Festival preparations must be tough for you. I don't even know why you're trying this, mate. Indeed, the people in this school seem to be talking about the festival very seriously. Taking the festival very seriously, I do apologise. Whenever I see people idling around and before and after classes, they're always talking about their plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Shizune scoffs at me at first, as if trying to decide whether to ignore or sneer at me, but in the end she starts signing without doing either. Misha perks up, looking at her hands with slightly unfocused eyes. She signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes, I'm imagining on the lines of "go away." Misha translates her signing into speech for me. She does it so well it's almost like Shizune is actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly through Misha. She must have practiced it vigorously. Well, of course, we're in the student council, you know, so we're pretty busy. It's an important duty of ours to ensure the success of the festival with all our strength. We would shame ourselves in front of the past student council generations if the festival were to fail. I'm sure they'd look back at their ancestors in many years to come and just be appalled. That's why there must be no flaws. No, I think that was encumbrances. No, nothing that might make the festival short of perfect. Shizune's passionate speech and Misha's enacting are oddly fitting of them. Oh, hello? Oh, hello. I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door. Hey, playing delinquent again? Hanako blushes hard at Misha's straightforward jab, even if it was only in jest. Oh. Shizune stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away to the point where only her fingers can be seen wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. They do try and make her feel welcome, don't they? Maybe she is showing her dislike of Hanako by association of her dislike of Lily. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows it as well. What is it, Hanako? Has Lily been here? Sorry, I haven't seen Sato. She came by in the morning though. Hanako keeps looking uneasily at Shizune, who stares back at her with her unusual studying gaze. What is she trying to do? Of course, Shizune isn't going to look away, and she's intimidating enough as it is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It is a little uncomfortable watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's normal behaviour. This is what happens when two people of two different extremes meet, it seems. Do you know where she is? If she has any sense of her head, she's in her classroom working on the festival project. But who knows where that woman is loitering at. You need to find her? She was looking for you in the morning, but I guess you've missed each other. She waits a little without answering to the simple question, looking awfully like she's not if it's proper to answer such a question. Yeah, I can come with you, if it's okay. Hanako nod fractionally, still on guard, her shoulders stiff like wood. I get the feeling that she might be more comfortable by herself after all, but it's too late to back off now. She has this really troubled expression on. She seems to wear almost constantly, one that makes me constantly be on guard myself. I wonder why. I kind of understand why she seems to be so wary, or maybe more like why there could be a person like her. But I still have no idea how I should react around such a person. It's dinner time soon. Were you planning to eat with Lily? She nods slightly. So she must have been trying to get into the cafeteria. One day I'll pronounce that right. I do apologise. Well, there's something of a dinner crowd, just like the cafeteria. Ah, I said it right. It's crowded during lunch. It's not as bad because dinner time is longer than lunch hour, and I can understand why Hanako could be discouraged from going in. I pick up my bag and we take her leave. Hanako skips a little to meet my initial pace, so I slow down to match her speed. It doesn't take long for us to be walking at a comfortable pace down the hallway. Unfortunately, an uncomfortable silence ensues. It almost feels like we're going on for a stroll together, something I can't say I've really done before with a girl. Hanako doesn't seem to be thinking the same thing though. Even though we are walking at the same pace, she never comes within an arm's reach of me. I guess she's still a little uncomfortable around me. Given how shy she is, there doesn't seem to be much helping it, at least for now. By the time we arrive at the cafeteria... One day, there is not much of a crowd there, but Lily is nowhere to be seen. Hanako's head sinks even lower than usual. Have you looked somewhere else already? Just at the library I was reading. So she does spend the class she skips at the library. Ah, so not exactly a thorough search then. Well, if I had to guess, she'd be in her own class like Shizuno said, right? Right. With the slightest of nods, Hanako agrees with my reasoning. God, she's being so awkward. It's like I need double-layered silk gloves with padding to even begin interacting with her. Some small talk might help her become a bit more used to me. It isn't hard to tell that the silence between us is hovering on the edge of both of our minds. So, you and Lily usually hang out together after class, right? Yes. I'm not quite sure what I expected from her answer, nor why I even asked the question. That was rather obvious, after all. She doesn't seem like the type to cultivate a social circle, either, so I suspect that Lily may well be her only friend. Must be a pain being in different classes, I'm guessing. She gives a sharp, almost reflexive nod. Compared to Lily's careful thought about her actions and speech, Hanako hastens to make her answers as prompt and short as possible. Lily comes by the classroom though, even when she's busy. She gives a small smile as she says it, evidently appreciating the fact that Lily goes out of her way to help her. It's pretty cute, really. There isn't any need to say more. Both of us content that the discussion's reached an end. As we ascend the stairs back to the lobby, we are met by a group of students heading downstairs like a school of fish moving from one feeding area to another. They seem to be keeping mostly to themselves, but before I can notice her doing so, Hanako has moved around behind me. Hey, you alright? Just keep going. The students pass us without much of a second glance, and Hanako takes up position to my side again as we enter the building, her momentary reprieve from her anxiety all but snatched away. Even as we climb towards the third floor, she doesn't seem to relax. It isn't as if I've known a shy person before, or even shy girls, but Hanako seems to be pretty far beyond what I'd call normal in her fear of other people. If it weren't for Lily acting as a mediator, I doubt Hanako would even be able to walk beside me like this. She seems to be completely shut down in the presence of others. The rest of the walk up to Lily's classroom continues in strained silence, while I rue her inability to socialise at all. After we make up our way up the stairs, the noise coming from Lily's classroom is audible from halfway down the hallway. I wasn't expecting such a din at all. Well, I guess we found her. This wasn't hard. Did Hanako come here first and then come to me for backup, I wonder? Well, if that's true, then at least she's starting to trust me a little. That can only be a good thing. Eventually, the two of us reached the door to Class 3-2. With Hanako less than subtly positioning herself behind me, I opened the door. Inside is a hive of activity, seemingly every student in the class talking at once as they work hurriedly at their separate tasks. Going by the paint cans, decorations and banners being made, it must be for the upcoming school festival. I guess my first priority should be finding Lily. There. Finding her among the din is surprisingly easy, not the least because of her looks. With a couple of students gathered around her, she stands at the front of the class. She seems to be in charge of the preparations, or at least busy organising them. Carefully negotiating a path through various students hunched over the floor for the lack of desk space, I raise a hand entirely out of habit as we reach Lily. Hi Lily, yeah, I think raising a hand to a blind person is not going to be too clever. She perks up her head as she breaks off, talking to a noticeably smaller girl who must be her classmate, trying to listen as best as she can. Sorry, who? Sorry, Hisao, I have Hanako too. Hi? She's pretty skittish. Considering the number of people around, it isn't hard to work out why. Lily takes a moment to pause to assess the situation, before turning to the other student once again. For the moment, just ask Maria for his advice. Kenji's been busy with painting one of the banners already. Wow, the Malinist. He is taking orders from a girl. It does surprise me. A quick nod and she bounces off, fingers carefully sliding along the wolf's face for orientation. What? Kenji? That Kenji? I quickly turn around, leaning to the side to see past Hanako. Sure enough, in a corner of a room, Kenji's hunched over a sheet of cloth as he paints it. His eyes remain only inches from the brush, reminding me of how close he had to be to make out my face when I met him. Sorry about that. Our class doesn't have many students with partial eyesight, so they're in high demand. That's right, Class 3-2 was specially for students with poor vision. Preparing for the festival must be pretty arduous for them. That does make sense when you think about it, really. You'd hate to think about all the accidents in the class, though. See, and this is why I'm not making jokes whilst playing this game. Everything come across in that bad way. I'm refraining myself. Right, need a hand? I could help. I could give you help if you need some. Maybe Hanako could too? A chance to set her mind on something would do her good, but I doubt she has the courage to ask outright. She quickly nods in affirmation afterwards, so I'm confident I made the right move, although quite who that nod is being seen by is beyond me. Lily gives a noticeable sigh of relief. Ah, that's good. This might actually get finished before everyone goes off to dinner now. Would you be able to help the person painting the main banner? It's a big task for him to do, but nobody else can help. Can she? Sure. She seems surprised that I know him. I can't really blame her. I take it you've met? Our rooms in the dorm are right next to each other. Hard to miss each other, really. Well, it's good to see that you're getting friends so fast. Friend. I wonder if that's the right word to use for him. Well, I've seen his manhood. What a horrible sight that was. Hanako's silence during the proceedings remind me of the reason I put her up to helping in the first place. We'll go help him then. He knows what needs doing, right? That's right. Just ask if you have any problems. Chorusing in assent, Hanako and I begin another trek across the classroom. Kenji sits crouched on the floor, his gaze fixed on the white calico in front of him. Hey Kenji! No answer. He continues dragging his paint-soaked brush along the half-painted kanji that's sketched on the sheet in pencil. Kenji. Huh? What? Who is it? If this is the way he treats class members, it's no small wonder he's working on this alone. It's me, Hisao from the... Right, I know that man. What are you doing here, though? His dismissive attitude annoys me. He must be the type to really get focused on his work, hating to be disturbed by anyone until he's done. I suppose. Right. While we talk, the sound of Hanako's footsteps as she walks out from behind me remind me that she's here. I was just going to help with that banner. Hanako and I, that is. Hello? Oh. Hey, I guess that's okay. As soon as Hanako enters the equation, his demeanour takes a complete about-face. His sudden faux hospitality is slightly unsettling. Oh, right, women, on second thoughts, this may not have been a great idea after all. Hanako and I grudgingly set ourselves down on the opposite side of the cloth banner to Kenji, noting the several small paintings on the ground around it. Class 3-2 noodle stall? You guys selling noodles at the festival on Sunday? Yeah, some stalls outside or something. Or something? His non-committal nature sparks a fair amount of suspicion on my behalf. The task at hand comes first, though. I think you're suspecting for no real good reason, but sure. So, how do you want to split this? We do borders whilst you do the text, or do you want to switch and do the borders? Text is mine, you do borders. He has surprisingly strong feelings on the topic. As I reach over to grab a brush, I notice Hanako's already debating between colours to use. By the time I put brush to the cloth, she's already started on a delicate pattern. Looks like my idea of taking her mind off everyone around her worked. Until someone addresses her. With a dark blue stroke, the three of us get silently to work. Not before Kenji takes advantage of Hanako's working to leans towards me and whisper conspiratorially, though. Oh god. Okay man, why are you here? Hanako just wanted some help to find Lily, that's all. He apparently disapproves of my motivations. The music in the background kicks off, which might suggest he's going to go on one of his loony rants. I get it. It looks like I misjudged you. You're infiltrating them, aren't you? Going deep undercover? I should have guessed. Letting this truth slip by him would probably be better than outright lying or annoying him in any case. Is that why you're here? Obviously. It sucks, but there's no way of getting... better way to get intel than going in yourself. That, and you're blind. So, it makes sense that you're here. We gotta stick together, man. This is a harsh school and a harsh world. Yeah, it's very harsh. He misses my true meaning as he leans back, satisfied I'm sympathetic to his cause. I'd better get down to work. You're not thinking about that. That might have actually been me saying that about infiltrating the class. Oh well, might be wrong. Finished. Looks like I am too. Good job. The two of us connect up lines of our patterns, mine being as close as a copy as I could manage of hers. With a grunt, I lever myself up from the floor and look around. Aside from Hanako and myself, there's only Kenji left finishing off a sign as Lily and a couple of other students talking among themselves in the classroom. Looking at my watch, it's no surprise. It's getting pretty late. Or, you know, if you look up the clock in the actual picture, which says, what, 10 past 12, 10 past 1? It's not late, but sure. Need a hand? I offer a hand to Hanako, which she uses to get herself up. As she does, I can't help but glance at her wrist. If her scars extend even to there, just how much of her body was burned. I feel a pang of guilt about it, however, as she quickly covers her wrist with her other hand. Looks good, doesn't it? She looks surprised for a moment before noticing that I meant the banner. Ah, that's an awkward one. It does, I guess. Her smile shows that she feels a slight sense of pride in the result, just as I do. With the floor significantly neater for the decorations being placed on desks and shelves, it's much easier to get to Lily as we cross the room. We finished the banner. I guess that's all that needs to be done? Lily gives an appreciative nod. Do like the word appreciative in this, don't they? Thank you, Hisao, Hanako. If there's any way I can thank you. It's fine. Beats sitting in my room studying at any rate. I don't mind either. She nods before suddenly remembering one last person. Oh, is Kenji still there? Just as I open my mouth, Kenji gives the answer from the other side of the room. Yeah, just finished. He carefully slides a sign onto an empty section of shelf to dry before quickly walking past us and out of the door. See you, man. Bye. The remaining two students say their goodbyes to Lily before taking their cue to leave as well, leaving only the three of us. Take it Kenji doesn't reveal his plans to women, hence why they treat him with some sort of normality. Well, I guess that's everyone. I hope we don't have to do anything like that again. Working past school time? Indeed. This class's plans this year were ambitious. Maybe too ambitious. The stalls look nice though. She's right. It shows that a lot of work's gone into them. My, I'm sure a lot of us would be glad to hear that. At least now there's not much work to do until the festival itself. It's getting pretty late. Should we go? That's probably a good idea. Are you going to the dorms as well, Hisao? Yeah, I guess I'll tag along. The nighttime lighting really makes the gardens look quite different. Compared to the usual look of lush greenery, things are much more calm. And bad, evil, but sure. It looks like the evil forest in Harry Potter. Being that it's so late, the lack of students around probably helps. The odd one or two can be seen scurrying to and from the dorms, trying to eke the most out of their approaching curfews, but no more. All that can be heard is our footsteps, in addition to Lily's cane regularly gently tapping the floor in front of her. Regularly gently taps... Right, I suppose that makes sense, but it didn't as I read it. It's nice to finally be able to relax a bit after the mad rush during school. Without noticing it, I let out a small yawn. Tired? Yeah, still getting used to the flow of things, I guess. The, thing with Shizune, kind of off guard, though. I grit my teeth a little at the candid mention of their rather public spat. That said, I do want to sort out what in the world was behind it. About that. I'm sorry about it being so public. Shizune and I... going back some ways. Her voice seems slightly irritated as she remembers Shizune, obviously unwilling to discuss it any further. I glanced at Hanako for her views on this, but her expression, unsurprisingly, evasive and difficult to read. Either way, I guess her apologising for it is something, even if my curiosity goes unanswered. She's got nothing to be sorry about. Shizunu's being a bit... confrontist, if that's a word. I'll be glad once the festival is over in any case. The change of topic is welcome, clearing the thickening air quickly. I can imagine my old school's festivals were a lot more low-key than this. Yamaku stresses the idea of a school community, so the staff likes to make our festivals and such special occasions. And yet the students are the one who do the work. What an unfair world. Hanako and Lily both chuckle in agreement, savouring the fact that none of the staff are here to hear our grumbling. I suppose coming from a strict all-girls school helped me a bit with Yamaku. Compared to there, Yamaku is much more relaxed. That'd go away towards explaining her well-bred speech and behaviour in any case. As we come up to the dormitories, it eventually comes time to leave our respective rooms. See ya, Lily. Hanako. The two both give polite nods before setting off to the women's dorms, just next to the guys. As to be expected for such an arrangement, there's a staff member casually patrolling around outside to prevent any nightmare shenanigans. I hope on my way back I don't find Kenji. Walking Park is... I love Kenji, right? I just feel I have to explain this. I love Kenji. It's just sometimes his rants do go on a little bit. That's as far as I'm saying. Anyway, walking past him, I quickly stretch my arms and rub my neck, both quite sore after having worked on the floor for so long, before walking to my room. It feels good to actually have direction, though. After so long in the hospital, the everyday facts of studying, homework, and teachers seem almost a blessing. I guess if things continue like this, my time at Yamaku might turn out okay. Famous last words. Oh dear. Adhering to the nurse's nagging voice in the back of my head, I set my alarm clock to wake me up early enough to go jogging again. I made a promise and I'm going to keep to it. Besides, Emmy is bound to rat on me if I don't show up. But it's not all that bad.